So how important is it for you to be the authority in your marketplace, regardless of what it is that you do? I know most of you are doing real estate, but how important is that? How important is that? Well, if you look at what we've done over the years, we've got a book and we've got the podcast. And I remember when I first looked at even the thought of doing a podcast, I was on someone's show as a guest, Mitch Stevens, and many of you know him. And he said, you know what you ought to do? You ought to have your own show. And I remember immediately my brain going into, I can't do that. How am I going to get guests? What am I going to talk to him about? I have nothing to say. All these doubts came in and he said, whoa, you don't need to do any of that. See, I got this guy that I'm going to introduce you to. His name is Stephen Westner. He owns Predictive ROI. You got to love that name. Predictive Return on Investment. That's a pretty cool name for a company. But anyway, he said to me, listen, you don't have to do anything. Stephen is going to coach you and show you how he'll produce your show, show you who to contact to get guests on your show. That just answered that doubt. And all the pieces that go along, he said, all you're going to do is talk to the people and he'll tell you what to say when you talk to him. So it's really a done for you, truly a done for you. So he recommended me to go with Stephen. And now, side note, if you're not already subscribed to his podcast, he's got a podcast where he has interviewed 1,000 plus business owners, entrepreneurs like you and I on his podcast called Onward Nation. You want to go ahead and get onto that. So anyway, Stephen runs this 100% in the relationships because we've become the authority, the joint venture projects, the sponsorships, all of that has been just incredibly productive and profitable. I couldn't quantify it for you. So now you might be thinking, well, what if I'm not into doing the podcast, or what if I'm afraid to like you were, Chris? Well, you're either one or two people watching this. You're either another educator, mentor, coach, similar to us, in which case you absolutely should go ahead and jump on the podcast idea. It will bring you more business. Or you're an investor. So that's the other hat we wear here, right, as a family company. So if you're an investor, how cool would it be for you to be the authority in your marketplace? All companies are coming into, big and small, coming into your marketplace right now. And they're buying houses on terms. It's getting to be a scalable project in a big way. So you have big money coming into it. So how important is it when a seller or a buyer looks online and wants to know who they should choose? Do they choose the mom and pop, and no offense to that? Or do they choose someone that maybe has a YouTube channel or a podcast or articles written or free ebooks? All of the above you can do. Now, how do you do that? Well, besides Stephen Westner being the contact for this, and I hate to keep patting him on the back for this, but man, it's deserved, and I'm understating it because he's absolutely amazing what he's done for us. Even since connecting with Stephen, what he's done is he has actually been involved now in our events. I'm actually a weekly accountability partner with him, so he and I hold each other accountable every single week. And I will promise you that your relationship with him, similar to mine, will be immensely profitable. You couldn't quantify it. Now, there are two options for you though. I understand, because I did it, that a podcast can be a scary thought at first. We'll help you through that, but it can be a scary thought. So you can either go ahead and jump on the podcast idea, or you can do what we call a 90-day authority sprint. In that 90-day authority sprint, you're going to actually have Stephen and myself coaching you one-on-one, helping you establish you as the authority in your marketplace. And it's a great kind of intermediary step before you jump on the podcast idea. So I encourage you to do either one of those, but get in touch with us. You'll have a link here on the page to get in touch with either or both of us, and we'll walk you through the pros and cons on either one of those steps, a podcast or an authority 90-day sprint. And thanks again for Stephen Westner for creating this, and thanks for being the support and the backbone to get all this done and make the profits that we all are together.